Welcome to the Inc. Productivity Tip of the Day. Today's tip. Want better habits? Neuroscience says this is how to train your brain. We are what we repeatedly do, a wise person once said. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. There's a lively debate over who actually said that first, but it rings true. It also explains why so many successful people recognize that one of the keys to their success is the ability to adopt good habits and banish bad ones. So, can you train yourself to adopt only the best habits? Good news. Research published by cognitive neuroscientists at Trinity College Dublin suggests that there's a real-world playbook you can use to leverage the way your brain naturally works to break bad habits or make better ones. Here's Aika Buabang, a postdoctoral fellow who led the research. Habits play a central role in our daily lives, from making that first cup of coffee in the morning to the route we take to work and the routine we follow to prepare for bed. Our research reveals why these automatic behaviors are so powerful and how we can harness our brain's mechanisms to change them. The research paper is entitled Leveraging Cognitive Neuroscience for Making and Breaking Real-World Habits, published in the most recent issue of the journal Trends in Cognitive Sciences. Buabang and his colleagues set out to bring together decades of research from laboratory studies, along with real-world research in order to understand how habits work in the human brain. The simplest way to understand it, they write, is to envision our brains as having two kinds of systems. A system based on stimulus response, SR associations. These are the sort of things that happen when you feel like you're on autopilot. For example, wasting away time by scrolling social media feeds on your smartphone. A system based on action outcome. AO, expectancies, beliefs, and valued outcomes, goals. These systems result in more intentional actions that you can envision as building blocks toward a desired outcome. For example, putting away your phone so that you can get work done before a big deadline. As a result of viewing brain systems through this framework, the researchers write, it becomes easier to understand habit formation as a function of imbalance between these two kinds of systems. That can make it easier to adopt practices that can either A, shift intended habits over time from action-outcome brain systems towards stimulus-response brain systems, or else B, shift bad habits away from them. I know this could get theoretical in a hurry, so let's drill down to the practical advice. Some of this will sound familiar, but the experience of considering it through the concept of two competing types of brain systems makes it more comprehensible and useful. For example, the researchers describe several factors that can affect the balance between the two types of brain systems, either intentionally or not. First off, repetition and reinforcement. Did you have grandparents like me who insisted you had to try something 7 times before you could say if you liked it or not? Maybe they were onto something. Repetition can have the effect of shifting a behavior towards stimulus response systems, while adding a reward to the behavior makes it more likely to be repeated. Second, making intentional changes in environment. Adjusting your surroundings can help, they write. Making desired behaviors easier to access encourages good habits, while removing cues that trigger unwanted behavior disrupts bad habits. Finally, they talk about knowing how to engage your own goal-directed system so that you can put habits that you want to adopt on automatic control. The classic example might be listening to a podcast or music that you can really get into while exercising. Each choice requires using an action-outcome decision in order to shift behavior toward a more habitual stimulus-response association. Granted, none of this is a silver bullet, but it's useful research that makes the entire idea of intentional habit formation, or destruction in the case of bad habits, easier to reach. I like the analogy of someone who wants to lose weight being told either A, eat less, or B, cut out carbohydrates, or C, follow a very specific diet for 14 days, along with an explanation of exactly how it will affect their body. That said, even the researchers admit there's a bit of a trial and error involved in adapting this kind of playbook for any individual person. We are all different. Depending on your neurobiology, it might make more sense to focus on avoiding cues than reducing stress, or allowing yourself more time for your daily routine. explained study co-author Claire Gillen, also of Trinity College Dublin, adding, by working with, rather than against, how our brains naturally form habits, we can create strategies that make healthier choices more automatic at both individual and societal levels. But if it helps to think this way as you set out to adopt better habits, I think it's worth the effort. That's it from Inc. This article was written by Bill Murphy Jr., founder of Understandably and contributing editor of Inc. Check back tomorrow for more tips from Inc.